like airports, bus stations, shit like that. I just like them. That's the most basic level thing. You constantly have the option to get like, Charlie died doing what he loved to. He will tell you I'm a bad driver, but there's no evidence for that. I have intuition. I'm deep in this. Dude, people fall for absolute monsters on a regular basis.
Hey guys, welcome to the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. I'm your host this week, Tyler Charles. I want to first of all, thank you for coming out. If you haven't yet, like our page on Facebook, Two Hippies, One Drunk. Also subscribe to our iTunes and review us 5 stars, all that stuff. That'd be fantastic. This show runs a little bit different than most, as in we switch hosting roles each week between myself, Tyler Charles, Scott Ryan right here, and Eric Fady. And we pick a topic and just kind of run with it. This week, I am covering the second part of Bad Kid Stories, our stories and the worst kids that have ever lived. I know we didn't actually get into that last episode, but we're actually going to do that this week.
Bad enough kids, I guess, that we needed part 2.
Yeah, we had too many stories. We could fill up an hour with it. Seriously. So I thought we'd start off with, we had discussed this, kind of doing one story each. And we'll start with you, Eric. What do you got for us for your...
I tried, I think we were talking about this a little before we started, but you're right. Like, yeah. I wasn't like a bad quote unquote kid until I was in my 20s. I always said the only thing about me that was bad was I was a terrible student. Like I was a good kid in the sense that I basically went to bed. You know what I mean? Like I didn't party.
Why were you a bad student?
Because I fucking.
You mean you were just bad at it?
I'm lazy.
Not like you were.
Well, here's the thing. I'm lazy when it comes to stuff I don't want to do. And I know that's a very cliche thing. I hate being that kid who's like, I don't apply myself. That wasn't it. Like I think when I've thought about it later, I didn't fit in with a lot of people. And I think that I felt bad. I think I was self-conscious. I'm not trying to play therapist here, but I look back on it. I think I was self-conscious and the dumb and me being, I just took to like, I'm just dumb. I think I just rolled with that.
You're like, I'm just going to steer into being dumb because it's easier.
I guess like I think I felt really stupid that I didn't pick up on things. And I still don't, by the way. I don't pick up on things as fast as other people. And I think that like just made me, I don't know, whatever. So when I think about the stuff that
So you're just saying you're a bad student.
I was a bad student. Everything in every other way. I really enjoyed, like I would go to my, I didn't, like I said, I didn't really have friends. Parents all weekend. We'd go to like sporting events and shit. I didn't go stay up late. I've always been an early riser and shit. So I wasn't like a bad kid until I was in my 20s. But I did think of some stuff that I used
bad time to be a bad kid.
I wouldn't say kid.
You're full-grown
adult.
Yeah,
you're just a bad adult.
I know.
Like, you were an adult committing felonies.
Yeah,
I know. Like seriously, I've always said that I went through my rebel phase. Like I went through it opposite. Like remember when I was talking about wearing a tie at school, wanting to be like Regis Philbin? Like I was in high school. I remember like kids liked I like country music, for example, and kids like rap music and shit. And I'd be like, that rap music's bad for America or some shit. Like I thought it was genuinely like, oh, that's a bunch of garbage. Country music is all wholesome and shit. And not that it's, I mean, but that was my thought process. I remember thinking,
I want to give you a swirly right now.
Yeah, you're a pretty big dweeb. Honestly.
I know. And that was my thought process. My thought process is with other kids.
You ever had a wedgie as a child? Did anyone ever give you a wedgie?
No, I mean, I got beat up and stuff, but I never got a wedgie.
I feel like that's the equivalent of a wedgie.
I got, yeah. And I got
dressed like
going down to the ground a lot.
Philbin just playing Who Wants to Get Their Ass Kicked.
Yeah, I have 3 questions. If you get it wrong, I'm going to kick you in the face.
You have 3 questions? Is that a serious thing?
Okay, no.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we just talk about it really quick? Imagine dressing like Regis Philbin and also being a bad student at the same time. Like you don't even have the grades to back it up.
You couldn't win Who Wants to Be a Millionaire because you don't have the knowledge for it.
Well, Scott's right. The funny thing about that is like everything else I did, you would think would make me a good student. I actually liked like having my
The way
at the
you
beginning of the year, I
describe
always
yourself, it seems like you'd be a teacher's pet.
Well, like, I mean, I didn't get along with really kids, so I used to get along with the teachers better. I would like at the begining of the year, I'd always buy like a brand new boulders, and I'd be like, "This is the year."
Nerd, for shame,
Shame.
But I was a terrible student, or in the sense that I was didn't get good grades at all. But
It's like the worst of
so
both
I
worlds.
thought about this.
for real.
Yeah, I know exactly. When you think about it, it was literally like. It's like I wasn't cool. I had no
Anywhere.
friends.
Like the teachers
And
are
I
like,
did
"Oh, that
terrible."
fucking weirdo." If he did well in my class, at least I'd give him some credit.
God, he's
but-
wearing the tie again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, dude, I haven't talked to him about this.
I
Like,
used to talk
hey,
NASCAR with this one
Mr.
teacher. Like there was this
Fahey,
one.
can you stay after class? We need to talk about that tie.
Well,
You
there
used
was
to
even
go
like.
NASCAR with your teachers?
Well, here, let me get to another story. Like there was, for example, like I took this one class one time where I was a teacher's aide, and all I would do is like hang out with this one teacher and watch TV. But it was like I never benefited from it. Like I never said to him like if I'm doing all this and have no friends, why didn't I go like how could I be a better student or some shit? But I think I mentioned it at one point. I resigned at one point thinking I was just going to become a truck driver. And so because I was going to become a
It
truck
was
driver,
a
I didn't have
dream, if I remember
About-
correctly.
yeah, it's your dream.
It was my dream. It was my dream. Anyway, sorry. So back to the bad. I quote my bad story. Like I guess
Okay.
a lot of what I did that was bad as a kid, and the reason I bring up education is like I was so bad, and it was always like the phrase like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like I always just had to get through the weekend in my mind. Like always bad news would come on Friday. Like at one school, I used to get like these bi-weekly reports because I was failing my classes, so my parents would have to sign them. And it was like my parents
ever
would,
hide one
and
of
this was before email and all this shit. So my parents would be like on
Or did
Friday,
you ever
like,
fake a signature?
well, that's where this is going. Yes.
Okay.
But like on Fridays, my mom and dad would be like, "Oh, where are your reports?" And I'd just be like, "Oh, they didn't get them." And it wasn't email back then. It wasn't like, and so it was like,
I would immediately be like, "Where are the fucking reports?" Like, you're lying to me.
well, what I don't
the
understand,
school.
I will say, is that I got caught once, and I got caught once, but I did like, it was just always like in my mind, get through the weekend. If I can get through to Sunday night and watch The Simpsons at 8, then if my parents get mad at me about something, it's just, I guess I can deal with it because then it's a school week. So,
Man, that is a really depressing thing too,
Mentality,
because it's well, and Simpsons was on at like 8:00 on Sunday. Like that's
Right.
like your last hurrah before the week fucking starts again.
And then you just
I never thought about this now, but for real, that is what my mindset was. If I had bad news from school or
You had to
I
make
lost
it
a
through the
retainer, I
weekend.
used to lose retainers a lot. Like I would
Yeah.
lose my retainer. I had an orthodontist yell at me one time because he said that he was sick of me losing my. I'm like, dude, I'm making you money. Why does it matter?
Okay, okay. Losing your retainer fits in perfectly with this whole incompetent nerd thing you're like pushing. And then like you had the nerd retainer, but also you didn't have the grades and the intelligence to like keep it.
That's a good point. So I have
all
like
the
memories of like.
aesthetics of a nerd, but none of the backing.
advantages.
Yeah, none of the
That's-
advantages.
That's my
of
whole
being a
fucking
nerd.
life, dude. Now that I think about it, that's my whole. It's my whole fucking life. I have like these
This is like
things
in
that are.
middle ground, but like having all these like weird little eccentric things that
They're
you're
just enough that it's like weird. Like you're right. That people don't like me because of them, but I don't get the benefits of like making a bunch of money or banging chicks because of them. Like there's like nothing.
You're not
positive.
now in your mid-30s, like, yeah, but now I'm fucking like a Wall Street dude. I pull in like six
Right.
figures.
Exactly. Literally nothing. Nothing beneficial
Yeah,
came from any-
you have the life of a cool burnout.
Yeah, but all of the traits of the biggest nerd we know.
Right. It's
Nice.
fucking crazy. So yeah,
So you,
like, I would, like,
so
sit
you
there and
forged. Did you forge?
yeah, I would
signature then?
forge signatures, and finally one
How many
time I
times
got
did you
caught
do that? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say.
A
when
lot.
did you get
Um,
caught?
Were you good at
What
a
was your-
lot. And
What was your punishment? Do you remember?
you know, I don't even really remember. I'll tell you this weirdly, like my parents, like I don't know if this is good or bad. I never really got grounded. Here's the problem though. So you go back to that whole thing. I never got grounded, but what were they going to ground me from? I didn't have any friends and I didn't do anything. So
Simpsons. Did they ever ground you from TV?
TV.
One time in my senior year of high school, my dad, I was failing a math class.
Senior year,
You're even getting grounded.
Yeah,
from TV.
you leave the house, go live in a hotel or something. Figure it out. The second your parents are grounding you from your TV in your senior year, it's like no.
You have a car and you're being grounded from TV.
Yeah. To be fair,
Well,
you wouldn't have been able to watch it because like you didn't have phones back then, right? Like you didn't have a cell
Right?
phone.
No, God no.
So like you couldn't have just kept watching it.
And by the way, even that, like, I only got grounded because my dad gave me the choice of I had to sit down with my dad and he had to help me with my math each day or no TV the rest of the school year. And I picked no TV. But
oh my God.
Oh my
that was
God.
the wrong decision.
Just lean into the nerd thing. Get the benefits.
no,
Seriously.
guys, if you know what doing homework was like with my dad, if you did homework with my dad, you had to sit down and like, dude, you had to write out like problem 1. And like, if I didn't even write problem 1 straight enough, it'd be like, rewrite that. Like, we haven't even gotten to like the
Sounds
problems.
awful.
I'm getting stressed out right now.
My mom was my teacher and I didn't have to deal with that shit.
Anyway, so I guess that's my bad kid stuff is just like that stuff. A lot of just, like I said, just like having things like losing shit and like I said, lying, like being bad at school. And then like, I was in a constant state of like I said, it always was like keep pushing things out. Just keep pushing them. If I get to the next day, if I get to Friday, then I'll be okay. And then if I get to
mentality, like when I was a kid, I used to do this thing to my mom because she was my teacher. I was homeschooled where like I could write letters really small. So I'd start doing that and my mom's like, oh my God, it's so tiny. You're so good at that. But like, could you write it bigger? And I'm like, I like writing small. And I kept doing it to the point where eventually I just started putting dots on the paper and she'd be like, I can't even see it. It's so tiny. And I'm like, yeah, I filled out my homework.
You know what that is? In a lot of ways, people talk about how school doesn't give you real world kind of benefits or training. Yeah. Like that's a very real world. You're manipulating your authority
An adult.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. That is something you do need to know later in life.
Oh,
like,
okay.
100%.
Your whole thing about how your dad would make you rewrite like the ones and all that and everything, it made me think about just like really quick. I have a very, very short thing to add to that. When I was in 5th grade, it was like the first day of school. And like, I don't know if you ever did this. Like I would occasionally give a shit for like a day. Like, especially at the beginning of the school year. Yeah.
Dude,
and
I
remember
always went in thinking this was going to be the year. I swear to God. I did. And then it was like,
this is the year I'm going to kill it.
Then I didn't want to do the homework, but.
And I remember, like, I did my math homework, and just for some reason, like, that first fucking day, I went out of my way. I like, sharpened my pencil, like, extra good, so, like, have a good point on it. I went through, I showed all of my work. I made all of it look so nice. And, like, it blew my teacher's mind. And she, like, made a big deal about it. She's like, everybody's homework should look like Scott's. And she, like, put it on the wall and shit. Never did it again. The whole rest of the year. The whole rest of the year was just sloppy, like, okay, I got a B+, like, bullshit.
Yeah. That's fair.
That was like that friend who had a philosophy with jobs. He had a lot of jobs in high school. And his philosophy was work like a motherfucker for a week. And then just fucking... be terrible the rest of your existence there, and it's like it doesn't really
think
matter.
of you as somebody who did a good job.
Yeah,
for the rest of the time.
Just coast on that first impression. That is a good idea.
So I was going to say, was that your entirety of your story, or? Okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was kind of my story.
Let's move on to Scott, sir. We got some good stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I feel like we ran out of time last week, and so we didn't really get to...
Scott. How about I go next? Because I honestly think your story's like maybe better than mine, and like I like
let's do it. Yeah.
But like I want
to that's a good structure.
Top it off with that. Yeah, and a little teaser. Scott stuff's good. Not that mine isn't.
We both were involved in each other.
A teaser for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick around.
If this story starts to suck, just come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. If you want to skip to this time, anyway, so my story, when we were teenagers, we were like 16. We knew this guy. I'm not going to say Ryan is his first name. And the only times we ever hung out with him, the 2 times we hung out with him, we got hammered. Like he had, what was it, absinthe?
Everclear. The first time.
Oh, geez.
The first time. We got super hammered, went sledding. And the second time, we went out.
Just in t-shirts, just beating each other with sleds.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we're saying when we say we went sledding.
Yeah, we went sledding. We just beat each other up with sleds. But the next time we did it, honestly, it was just this. I don't know how we didn't get in trouble. Like the cops didn't get called in general, because we did a lot of crazy shit. So we got hammered at his place, and none of us had a car, so like we had to walk probably like 3 miles back to Scott's house where I was living at the time.
Jesus Christ.
And so in that time, we just started getting hammered, like super drunk.
Yeah.
We went to this McDonald's, and Ryan freaking jumped on the fucking countertop and started like.
Okay. Well, before we even got to that, though, I remember I was ordering at McDonald's, and I just had my head like laying on the counter.
Oh yeah,
I was just laying on the counter, just like, I'll take a double. Like,
I do remember that. You like straight laid down.
16-year-old just drunk.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous. And then he jumps on the counter and starts dancing and starts being weird. And even in my drunk state, I'm like, this is bad. We have to go. We're going to get in trouble. Like, we're not eating. We got to get our shit and get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So we left there.
How does someone, I know how something doesn't call. They don't give a fuck. They don't care.
Yeah. Honestly, like,
you remember that when you were
aggressive? It was more like just us drunkenly being assholes.
Right. And so they're minimum wage workers.
When you were a teenager, you always thought everybody's paying attention to you. And like, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
And, I mean, in reality, like, if I was sitting behind you guys, I'd have just been like, I'd laugh probably to myself, but I'd just be like,
you
whatever.
wouldn't do anything about it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't either. But like,
I make minimum wage, and I've got some fucking weed in my pocket. Like, I'm not calling the cops.
Right. Exactly.
Like, but the fact that 3 16-year-olds were hammered downtown Grand Rapids and that nobody was notified is insane to me. So after that, we leave there, we start walking. Like, we drunkenly, me and Ryan are like, we gotta pee, and we're like, we're too far away. Like, let's. Instead of peeing in the bushes or peeing in just in anywhere that wouldn't be a church, which is what we peed on. Like, we went in this church and just peed on the front door.
Yeah.
And then walked, decided let's
it was night
finally
least,
go to Scott's house. No, middle of the day. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
It was like 3 o'clock. It was very early.
Did someone not walk up while you were doing this?
Seriously, see us, 2 dudes peeing on a door and Scott looking out.
Because, I mean, I've peed on a lot of these, but at night.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's a smart move. We were idiots. So we leave there and then go back to Scott's house. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and we called her to come over. I was all drunk. I probably shouldn't have had her come over. She came with our mutual friend, Tracy. And Ryan was all drunk and loved that movie, Waiting. And so, have you ever seen Waiting?
Oh, hell yeah. One of my favorite fucking movies.
With all the
also, the reason I got fired from Red Robin. But
do all the tricks with their balls and shit.
The penis shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm familiar.
So he wanted to do that to me when I came down the stairs. He was trying to give me the goat.
Yeah.
My friend
the
Tracy.
Goat. Oh, the goat. That's a fucking, wow. He was ballsy.
He bent over and everything, like ass.
That's a hard one.
And he thought I was coming down the stairs. I was not coming down the stairs. My friend that was completely sober, that was a 16-year-old girl, came down the stairs. I heard her downstairs.
And also not even Tracy is not even one of our fun friends. Like, she was
upset. She was not.
She was like Tracy's coming over. Like, let's probably like just be pretty chill.
Like try to act not.
So,
drunk.
by the way, just real quick, I wasn't even going to tell this even when you brought up Waiting, but I have to because you just mentioned a switcheroo where someone was trying to get. I don't know if you guys remember. If I've ever told you. I don't know how you guys, if you didn't know this, if I had told you, that seems shocking, but I got fired from working at Red Robin for doing that, and I did it to my.
No, I did not know that. Oh my god! Was it a woman or a dude?
Well, what happened was we had been playing the game for about a month in the restaurant, which was my idea, by the way, at 25. I'm like, or 24, I think. I think I was 20.
I mean, those people in that movie are doing this 30, 35 years old.
Right. So I think I was 24, actually. But like, I was like, oh, why aren't we playing that game? And the only reason I'm even stepping in is because that's what happened to me. It's like essentially,
are other people playing it with you?
oh yeah, a bunch of other people were playing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
I was,
awesome.
and so it was getting really bad. And so that day, I walked
What was
in,
your
like we had to walk
go-to
in through the
move
front.
with your dick and balls?
What's up?
What was your go-to move with your dick and balls?
I
Like, what
basically
did you
just
do?
did the easiest one. I just did the bat or the brain, I guess, or whatever.
Like showing the balls.
Yeah.
Zipper.
And so
Okay,
like
yeah.
the one day we had to walk in like just through the regular door, you know, we didn't have like a back door that we enter through or whatever. And some dude, it was like a middle of the day, he just got me like right there. I'm like, fuck this guy. And he went out for a smoke at one point, and I had a friend like watch from the one side. I'm like, hey dude, watch this from this side. But like I got up in the back of the prep table with just my fucking pants down. And
Oh my god!
I didn't realize that my manager was out smoking at the same time, and my manager came back, and he's literally on his cell phone, and I'm just fucking sitting there, like, you know, like this, completely falls out, and he was just like, in the office now or whatever, and so that's how I lost my job.
I don't even know that. Get the fuck out! He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Actually, technically, I got suspended for a week. So they could decide, and then I came back, and then I was fired. But
that's hilarious.
Anyway.
Did something else happen that you got fired, or was it?
Just the end.
No, that was what I got fired for. I think they just didn't know what to do. I mean, even
They
though
gave you a week-long suspension, they're like, "Do we press criminal charges?"
Right? What do we do
I
in this
know,
situation?
right? Ironically, in a weird twist of life, just real quick, in a weird twist of life, the guy who owned that restaurant ended up being involved with a restaurant, Twin Peaks, that Spotcast for a little bit. And we actually had a bit where I wrote him a letter, like this rich dude who owns like 10 restaurants. I wrote him a letter apologizing for it. And he read it and wrote.
That is so hilarious. That is awesome.
So there was closure in the end.
That was pretty much the end of my story anyway. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
both of us like doing balls.
Didn't mean to put into your story. I apologize.
No. That was the end. Honestly, that was the complete end.
Can I add a very quick addendum about the time I was fired from Burlington Coat Factory, real quick? Okay,
Burlington Coat Factory.
From Burlington Coat Factory. I was probably
being fired from jobs is awesome. Isn't being fired from jobs awesome? Except like in that moment where if you actually are like, "Damn it, I need money next week" or something. But
yeah. There's a
moment where it's not bad.
You get fired,
it's satisfying. It's like,
oh,
I get to say whatever the fuck I want now.
So okay.
Also, I always remember there's like a week. There's like a week after you get fired where you can do anything. You're like, your friends are like Wednesday night. They're like, "Oh, we want to go bowling," and you're like, "Fuck yeah!" But then like after that week, you don't have any more money because your last check. And then so it's like, but there's a week after where you can like do whatever.
You ever do it that week? Like, you're like, maybe I'll just move out to the woods. Maybe I don't need a job anymore.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I definitely thought like, can I just? Do I need this?
Every time I've left a job, I think
Right.
it's like, can I? How long can I keep this up?
Seriously. Okay, so
go.
I was
Scott's.
Well,
no,
really
you're
quick,
talking
let
about
me
how
go,
you
and then we'll get
I
into it.
gotta this.
When I was at Burlington Coat Factory, I had this manager that I hated because she would always give me a bunch of shit, and one thing she would always do is she would give me too much.
Oh, Scott
to do
can't handle women managers.
Don't make it a gender
canceled.
Wow, what a bombshell! No, just.
But no, okay, God damn you!
Sorry.
So I hate this bitch.
Right. So I hate this woman. Fucking thought she could tell me what to know.
Just because she's the boss. No, go ahead.
No, okay, so she would always do this shit where it would be like 5 minutes before I was supposed to clock out. She'd give me too much shit to do. Where it would be like, I can't do this in 5 minutes.
I fucking hate that shit.
And it would piss me off. And so one day I had a friend there, and like I was talking to her like about how I was irritated about that. And I just made some dumb comment where I was like, yeah, I should take this broom and beat her to death with it, I think is what I said.
I remember you saying this, but that is so fucked up. You deserve to get fired.
But, like, I was joking with my friend. Like,
there's no excuse. You threatened. You had a death threat on your.
No, don't take their side.
He wasn't gonna.
He absolutely made a death threat. I don't care who.
Well, I mean, he did,
talking,
but I would.
Talking, it was like I had a friend that I worked with there. That we were tight. Like me and her would like hang out outside of work and stuff. So I was talking freely. Like we were joking around. I'm like 23.
She went and told her the boss that you said this.
No.
Oh.
No. The manager happened to hear it like from around the corner. I didn't know she was like there.
Dude, those are jobs, man. Jobs.
And so they pulled me into the office and they treated it like they had found like a journal of mine where I had said that I was going to shoot up the Burlington Coat Factory.
That's a little.
Like
I want a picture of you
You
working.
did make a death threat.
It was all the managers. They're like, are you planning on committing any sort of violent act in here? Like, is there anything that we have to worry about, like, in the future? Like,
I'm way more.
Yep,
I'm way more interested in.
Just lean into it. You better watch out.
I did not.
Oh, sorry.
Did you feel bad, or did you just like?
No, I was like, it was
no, because he didn't mean it. He's just being fucking.
And they weren't having any of it. They're like, I don't like words have power, and like I don't. This seems like a serious issue. Like I don't know if we should get like the police involved.
Shut up.
Yeah,
seriously, shut the fuck
seriously, up. They had their security guy walk me out, and I was just banned from the store.
Never allowed to go to Burlington Coat Factory again.
Nope.
Okay, so your story. Let's do it.
By the way, I am permanently from Red Robin, so we have that. So.
One of these days when we're older, we just gotta take a day, go to Burlington Coat Factory, go to Red Robin, just
right.
See what happens.
Violate the rule, yeah.
Your face is gonna be plastered somewhere.
By the way, this already gave me an idea for something else, so I don't want to actually get into this because it's already almost a half hour in, and I want to get to your story. But at some point, we are going to delve into some of the stuff because I want to know Scott Rafe at Burlington Coat Factory.
Yeah, there's
I want to hear. We'll talk about. We got.
Sure.
We're gonna. I just came up with a good idea about your episode, and we're gonna. Let's get to your bad kid story. But
yeah, okay. So we had this time. We were probably like I got in my license recently. I think I was like 17, 18. Like I was around that age, and I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends. And like we used to just do stupid shit like all the time. We would drive around like egging cars,
right,
shooting airsoft guns at people, like just
airsoft guns.
Right, shit that I'm like, I can't believe that we never got in trouble for. But like that was a phase, that was what we were doing. And Tyler calls us one night, and he had this friend named Craig, and he is like, man, Craig wants to go ding dong ditching, and like I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I was like 18.
Like, dude, I'm 18. I'm not ringing doorbells and running away.
Yeah.
Like, and so he's like, but we could fuck with Craig. And so we're like, okay, like what do we do? And he's like basically we end up coming up with this plan between us where we're like, okay, we will all show up and we'll pretend to be somebody who is really angry about the ding dong ditching. And we'll scare him a little.
I don't even think we even said that. I feel like it was just like, hey, put some masks on, get a couple bags.
Well, that's what it ended up turning into.
Yeah.
That was because I feel like, we were just all egging each other on and stuff. So we get these Halloween masks, like we get bats and golf clubs and shit.
Yeah, and I was like, you guys gotta like act like you're assaulting me and take me like in your car, like just put me in your car. So like,
we planned that out even ahead of time.
But you guys put me in the trunk, but we did not plan that. We planned on me going in the car,
and we're kind of worried about a little bit.
Those are scary to me. I'm claustrophobic. The idea of being in a trunk would be so terrifying to me.
And honestly was a little scary for me because I knew they were coming and I knew this whole thing was going on, but the intensity of like what happens?
I feel like because that's kind of like from your perspective. Was that what you were expecting? What happened?
I was expecting you guys to come out and scream some stuff because I think you are right. You were supposed to be like, why are you ding dong ditching in this neighborhood?
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagined.
You didn't say shit. You guys came out. Essentially, from my perspective, it was like you came out like in mass Not saying
We
a
jump
word.
out like the gang from A Clockwork Orange.
Literally.
Just like...
And like come right for me. And it's like, I know it's you guys, but you guys are coming at me with bats and like running at me and like pretend hitting me and then grab me and throw me in the trunk, which we did not discuss.
No, and we had talked about beforehand. We were like, oh man, like what happens? Like Craig doesn't know what's going on. What happens?
Can I clarify? Like this is all happening at some house, right? Because you're fooling him.
Well, no,
somebody
we're in a
else's neighborhood.
We're in a neighborhood and we're just outside. They just pull up in the car.
It was though. It was like a suburban neighborhood. I mean, it was.
But they're not at your house.
Their houses.
So someone else is
Somebody
right. Someone else could still open it. Yeah, like open the door and be like, "What's going on?"
And the fact that we didn't get in trouble, like there's a kidnapping. There was a kidnapping.
So there's because that's the thing to me. Like you're at a different house and you're faking a doorbell ditch and making fun of a guy. So it's like it's just you know what I'm saying? It's a funny series of events because like if someone came out, what would they see?
It wouldn't have been funny.
Fake doorbell ditch going on.
Well, they would have been going to jail. I would have been fine.
Yeah, but like, and we talked about it beforehand. We're like, okay, so like, what happens if like Craig tries to fight back or something like that? We're like, we don't know like how he's gonna respond. We're putting him in a scary situation. Thankfully, Craig literally just completely ditched his friend.
Immediately. They pull over, get out. He's gone. He is disappeared.
Tyler up.
Yeah, and just runs.
Wait, if you think about that, your prank on him, it almost needs him to ditch his friends. Because if he doesn't, then it's fine. So you're like betting, you're gonna like we're gonna scare.
All of a sudden we're defending ourselves with baseball bats.
Right. So your plan is to scare him, but hopefully he doesn't have any loyalties, and it makes it just an easy.
We were banking on that. We weren't.
Do you remember if you thought he would
like get out of here? Don't hurt my friend. But he was just. I looked around and he was gone. The back of his head was just disappearing into the woods.
I remember me and my other friends were banking on it. I remember we were
that
like,
makes sense. I didn't think
run.
that.
We're like, he was.
I knew Craig.
Say this isn't
that he was going to run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that though? I would say, and when it comes to being loyal, as far as like sticking, I think when it comes to like doorbell, like stuff like that, I think you do. There is more of a just we're gonna do this, and if someone comes out, we all just run. Like I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That isn't one of those things. I think where you have to be like
we were beating Tyler up in front of him. We were beating Tyler up in front of him. We were beating Tyler up in front of him.
Oh,
like he saw that. He saw that part because they were coming down. Like, fake hitting me. Fake hitting
me,
but
know that
it looked like they were like beating the shit out of me. And then
did he
threw
say
me in
afterwards? He's like, I knew it was you guys because if he didn't,
no.
Okay,
let me get to that. Let me get to that because this is what happens. It's kind of we're all laughing about it. We're all having fun. We end up hanging out.
They finally take me out of the trunk.
Yeah, we take him out of the trunk. We're like, hey, what's up, dude? Like we're having fun. I think we went back. We were playing video games or something like that for a couple of hours, just laughing about it and all of that. We hadn't really considered that Craig still had no idea what was going on.
We didn't even think about him. We were just laughing about it. That was hilarious.
And so I get this call from him at like 1:00 in the morning, and he is terrified. And he is
so is he like heading in some bush somewhere? Or
because he's like, dude, have you spoken to Tyler? Have you heard from him at all? And I'm like, yeah, he's like right here. He's like, what do you mean he's right here? I was like, yeah, dude, we just been hanging out with him. I'm like, oh, you didn't know?
No. You didn't tell him until he told you about the knife and stuff. Because you were guys.
No, I did. I told him immediately, and then he did.
No, you played into it until he told you about the knife thing. Where is he? What's going on? And then you were like, no, it was us fucking with you. Because the conversation essentially started on the phone with Craig saying, like, yeah, where am I and stuff. And then he told you
I remember immediately telling him.
Why would he tell you about the knife thing? Because that's embarrassing.
No, he did. He told me all of that afterwards. Because he was literally, do you remember? I remember his exact phrase was, he was like, are you serious? That is the most real thing I have ever experienced in my life.
Yeah.
That was what he said. And then he talked about it. And he went into all of that.
He said that beforehand.
No. I told him right away. He just divulged this. I'm really
So he went to a friend's house and got a butter knife and walked home with a butter knife thinking that would help him.
Oh my god!
Because he was so terrified.
Yeah,
you're just like psychological.
But wait a minute. Like, why didn't he? Then he realized, like, dude, you got a butter knife. There's a whole drawer. You're usually in a drawer. Why wouldn't you get like
take
a regular one
good night.
or a
I
fork?
don't know why he didn't get something better.
Yeah.
I
Why would
genuinely don't.
Yeah.
Just like you're in a. I mean,
And why
I
would
guess I
you
could give him some
divulge
benefit.
that's what you did. It still like confuses me why Craig would just say that.
You know what's funny when you guys mentioned that? I will say, like when you stuff like that as like younger, and as I explained, I started doing it older in my 20s. But when you did stuff like that, there was always the fun thing. Like that, it seems like what you always did after. Like you would do something like that, and then you'd have to regroup at someone's house and play video games and like just kind of
crack up about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that was a fun night.
I haven't thought about that in a long time, but that was a fun time when you did something really stupid. Then you all like got freaked out maybe for a moment. All met up somewhere.
The parents with the like the ones that aren't going to pay attention to you. You always go
to what's going on, why you're coming in at different. Because people are walking in at different times, and
the alternative is that you just spend the entire night escalating, and that can't happen. Because then, I mean, at some point you're a guy on the news being arrested. So you have to do that thing where you egg each other on, you do the one thing, and then you're like, that was fun, that was good.
That was crazy. That was crazy what we just did.
Okay, so I want to get in some of these Reddit stories, like I was saying about the Reddit stories I looked up were children acting out in public, like the worst. Like,
oh my God,
the
worst.
Freaking out or tantrum.
I don't have a kid. I don't want a kid.
Yeah, none of us do.
I don't have a problem with people having them.
Yep.
But like, I'm serious. Is there anything worse than you're doing something and someone has a kid who fucking like shut up or like, you know what I mean? Like you're in the like a spy or something.
And I kind of think in my head, like, people will be like, you're bad parents.
Like a bank robber.
Yeah, people will be like, you're bad parents. No. I mean, kids are little wacky assholes. Like, it's hard to, like, control them.
I was an asshole, dude. I was a loud asshole as a kid.
Fair enough.
No, I disagree. Okay, and once again, like, yes, right away, this is 3 childless guys about to criticize some parents.
I just turned 37.
Being parents.
But no,
right. I just turned 37, and I'm like, these kids.
No, I big time disagree with that. Like, if your kid is acting up in public, like I did have a stepkid from like 3 to like 10. Like, you're the one in charge.
I think that stepkid is very well behaved compared to most children.
No matter what, you're the one in charge.
That's
that
true.
Kid is the fucking.
I still think that why I'm saying that is some of the people on Reddit. I kind of feel like it's like, shut the fuck up. It's like it's a kid being a kid, and you kind of just like.
Oh yeah, there is that other side of the spectrum.
Because it's.
I bet I'll agree with all the people slamming
children. So the first one though is justified that they put this on here. So I was gonna say it's pretty hilarious. So the person says, "I worked at a timeshare."
Real quick. Scott,
yes,
or Tyler,
yeah.
Tyler.
Yes.
Think of it as you're about to read this. So you're getting these from Reddit. So that means that somebody sat there and again, to me in my mind, at like a Chipotle or something, and something happened. And then they're like, I've got to go to Reddit and let people know that this happened.
They were literally like, this kid is so bad, I need to leave a fucking Yelp review. So
you're leaving it out. Yelp.
But the kid won't see. But by the way, the kid won't see though. It's just a generic thing of like, I was at a place and there was a bad kid. Anyone experience
absolutely.
Let me give my opinion.
To be fair, if this happened, I would. It might encourage me to tell somebody about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I worked as a timeshare at a timeshare resort as a greeter. In comes this family with God knows they're from God knows where with a son. He pulls down his pants and takes a dump right in front of the main entrance. Pulls up his pants and walks away. and walks away. It smelled so bad we had to redecorate redirect people through the back door. Also, the parents, because it's not on here, but the parents didn't even acknowledge that he did it. They just got their timeshare and then
Fucking
left.
God.
Okay,
my
first of all, I'm not surprised at all that they had to redirect people. Because if you ever smell the shit that doesn't hit water, it is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I was gonna
I
say,
shit my pants a few times. I know.
if he's doing that, if they're so confident, if the kid comes in there, takes a poop on the floor, he is doing this all the time. All of the time.
Yeah,
This
he
is
didn't
not
even
Right. If he does it where he's pulling it. Do you
know,
guys remember there was a video? I don't know if you guys remember this, by the way. There was a video a few years ago about and they looked like fucking Walmart rednecks, but he was proposing to
they
his.
were kind of describing them as the same. Like,
They were at a
fucking
timeshare. So,
yeah.
but he was
Duck
he was
Dynasty.
proposing to his
Dynasty,
girl.
yeah.
He was proposing to his girl, and in the background, one of the, I'm going to assume in this situation that it is a girl who had a baby daddy and was getting ready to get another gentleman in her life. That's just my assumption. But like he's proposing to her, and in the background, her son proceeds to go in the fountain behind them and take a leak. Like just pulls his pants down and starts
I have
pissing.
seen that before. Yeah, that's hilarious.
So it reminds me of that. And my point is,
what were you gonna say?
my point would be is like what you said, dude. He does that. I'm sorry. So I understand where it's like sometimes it's just a bad kid, sometimes it's parents. But like, dude,
if my
a
kid
is
took a
just in the
dump
middle
in
of
a public place, I am freaking out on that kid.
he's done it
Not
before.
like hitting
He's
him or
done it
anything,
before.
but like, what the fuck, dude?
He's done it before. He shit his pants, and now he doesn't get enough thrill from that anymore. He's escalated.
Needs a bigger eye.
Like the way they described it, I just imagine this little dead-eyed kid looking you right in the face as he shits on your floor and then walks away.
I'll tell you this, dude. If I was that fucking guy, and I don't know who had to clean it up, but if they came to me, I always just say this when I worked at Meyer too. There were certain things, and that'd be one of them. Be like, nope, I'm done, and I'd say I'm not doing it, and if they said you're gonna be fired if you don't, I'm out. Not cleaning up this fucking kid's shit in the middle.
Okay, I had a time, like, I was probably about 2 years old, and they were trying to get me, like, off of the diaper, essentially. Like, I remember this is one of my earliest fucking memories. And I was at, like, a daycare provider's house. And they were, like, I had pooped my diaper, and they got really mad at me, and they yelled at me. And, like, I was like, oh, fuck.
Is that what you're supposed to do with a diaper?
Yeah, right. But they were trying to get me off of it. They're trying to get me off of it. So
Yeah.
So we had like nap time, and they put me on her couch, and I pooped my pants again. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. And I took that out and tried shoving it under the cushions of the couch.
That's so much worse. That's so much worse.
Oh my god! I can't believe at that age you had a couch. I can't believe at that age you had the foresight though to do that. That's pretty good.
To be like, nah, I'm not getting yelled at again. You're gonna get yelled at worse.
Fucking
You're gonna
crazy.
get kicked out of that daycare.
Oh yeah, they were very angry.
You ain't coming back to daycare.
Yeah.
So you remember that for real?
Yeah, that's
insane.
Like
maybe my earliest childhood memory.
That's fucking crazy, man.
I made like 4 for me. I have my earliest would be like 4.
Would be like 4?
Yeah.
No, I definitely have some from 2. I think that would be the absolute earliest though. Like I remember her coming in and going, "What stinks so bad?" Being like, "Oh, fuck, she knows.
That is
so,
hilarious.
dude, I hate to God, I hate to do this, but I have to. When you're telling a shit story. You guys, and this only happened a few years ago. Did you guys know?
Let me pull another one out of the arsenal.
Yeah. Do you guys know if you know about this situation? I had a few years ago when I was in New York with shitting my pants.
No.
You don't know? Okay, so I was in New York with my host, my boss from the podcast. And we were there to do he was there to go on this national.
So you're
podcast.
working in New York.
Oh my God.
Right. It was this really cool fucking time in my period of my life. But we were staying in the same room and he was my boss. And so I had to take a shit and I didn't want to do it in the small little New York hotel rooms because I'm like, gonna smell. So I go to the elevator. I'm gonna go down to the lobby. I'm gonna be a nice guy, not gonna fucking stink up our room. And it was, and I started getting down, and it was like, as I started going, it was one of those, all of a sudden you're like, holy fuck, I gotta go now, right now. And I get down to the lobby, and I'm like, doing that fucking walk to the fucking lobby bathroom.
You have to stay in there.
And it turns out they were cleaning the fucking bathroom, and I'm sitting there, and I can't I don't know what to do, and I'm sitting there, and couldn't help it, and a little fucking, I had to let a little bit go, and some shit went down my fucking, out of my ass, down my leg, onto the fucking.
You didn't want to stink up
room.
You didn't use the bathroom because you didn't want to stink up the room, and now you're just a walking poop stain.
And then you must have had to have gone back to the hotel room and changed.
Well, here's a problem though. So here's what happened. I still had to go when you have to go a lot. I had to go a lot more than what I let go onto the floor. So the lady comes. Right. So the lady comes out of the thing finally, and I don't know what to do with this little shit on the floor. So I ended up just kicking it against the wall, hoping that no one would see it.
Dude.
And then I went in, took my shit, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna get out, and I was gonna clean it. I'm like, I'm gonna get out. Hopefully, no one saw it. I'm gonna clean it up. No one will notice. I opened the door, dude, and there was a guy in my fucking face, just like, why did you shit on the floor? Why did you shit on the floor? And I ended up sitting there at one point cleaning up my own shit off this lobby in New York, and he's yelling at me while I'm doing it, and I'm crying, going, I don't know why. I don't know why.
You were crying and cleaning up.
I was crying
at the same time. Those are the most vulnerable. That's the most vulnerable spot a human being could be in. Just cleaning up their own poop while they cry.
Dude, he's yelling at me, and I'm just crying, going, I didn't do it.
Okay, my question is, you said you still had to shit at that point. So, you dude, I swear to God, I will be right back? or did you hold it in?
Yeah, did you hold it in?
What do you mean?
Did you hold it in? Yeah, did you hold it in while you were cleaning, or was it like, listen, dude, I will be right?
Oh no. So what happened was it went off it went down on the floor. I was like, shit. I just kind of, no pun intended. I literally just kicked this little thing of shit to the wall into the bathroom and finished it. And like I said, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna clean this up. It's in the morning. Maybe, hopefully, no one saw it. You know what I mean? Because there was not really a lot of.
They did. They didn't need to see it.
And I opened the door, and he was just in my face, dude, yelling at me in my face.
I mean, fuck that guy though. Was he the goddamn janitor? Why does he care so much?
Well, he was, but I mean,
he probably was. I guarantee it. If somebody's that angry, they're the ones who's cleaning it.
Dude, it would end up being a whole thing. No, I don't even have to tell the whole rest of it. I mean, it just. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before we get too much more into poop stories, I really want to tell you. I want to see your guys' opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
On this one. So, another person on Reddit was talking about essentially. I don't even have to read it. A group of 11-year-olds were staking out this gas station and trying to rob people, threatening to kill them, like a little kid threatening to shoot them in the face, and people
Did they have a gun?
No.
Okay.
They would just and they would vandalize the place and steal shit in front of the owner, and the owner was too afraid because there was 10 of them. So it was like a little gang.
Where was this?
11-year-olds. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, Oakland.
That checks
Oakland,
out.
California.
There was a group of little kids who would walk into stores, steal, mock people for no reason, knock shit over on purpose, and threaten to kill people who said anything about it. Like an 11-year-old threatening to shoot the clerk in the face if he asked any questions about them stealing.
Holy fuck, dude! I don't have that kind of balls now.
That's what I was like a gang of kids there were so many that you're actually afraid. Do you think you could take on 10, 11-year-olds?
Probably, but how could
you know what?
I could say 3. I'd say I could take on 3 11-year-olds.
I feel like you guys are underselling yourselves. I think 6 maybe.
6.
I could take on. I mean,
they could all jump on. Imagine the weight of all them tackling.
I guess it depends.
Bulbs.
It depends on what.
Little bones. You're gonna break their little bones. I'll kill you.
You're gonna snap them over your knee like a baseball bat.
3 11-year-olds, I wouldn't have to hurt, but I could stop them from trying to do it.
I'm saying you give one of those kids a backhand, the rest of them are scurrying.
That is a good point. That is a good point. If you just full on,
I think 10 of them though. You hit one of those, it's like a swarm coming at
10's
you.
a lot.
I'm saying
I don't think you're getting
one
10.
good gut shot on an 11-year-old.
But even with 10, but,
knock the wind
okay,
out.
but
He's out. He's done.
but
Then
you're
now
saying
we're down
okay,
to
but you're
9.
saying
Let's go.
6.
They're not
You
gonna
couldn't
come at
take
you one
10
at a
though. I don't think
time.
it's gonna.
They're not coming at you one at a time.
How do these guys? By the way, was this legitimately like a gang already? Like, are they already?
Essentially,
fucking...
that's what they were calling them, like the gang that people didn't want to fuck with them. Like that show we watched, Peep Show, with those kids.
That was what I thought about it too.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? Or 10 of those kids?
Could you imagine how even
Well,
if you knew, even if it was a little gang that people were scared of or whatever, how
Right.
fucking just deeply demeaning and embarrassing it would be to get punked by an 11-year-old.
I know it would be terrible.
To get
Oh my
robbed?
God.
Like if they robbed you?
To any of that, this 11-year-old just said some shitty stuff to me, and I'm too scared to like.
That's a thing you don't tell anyone about. You're
No.
like,
Well,
if
you know,
if you get mugged by them, you tell them a full-grown adult had a gun.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, I'm trying to think of that. And here's the thing: it's weird because we're in. I think if you were talking 20 years ago, before, because the problem is now, dude. Like, it'd be like they can say whatever they want, but what if you can? If one of them comes up and says some shit to you, and you do some stuff, all it takes is one of them filming it, and no matter what they've done, like even though in reality there'd be a time when society would have agreed, like, dude, you deserve this. Now it'd be like you'd be so fucked, even if they deserved it. It would just be like people just jump.
You hit those kids.
They wouldn't even know who you are. They wouldn't know the
kids were
situation,
robbing me with knives.
and it wouldn't matter
Yeah,
in a weird way. Like we're in a weird time, I think now, where it's like, dude, I would just literally just. I mean, I'm not gonna just let them. I mean, I don't ever cash anyway, so I don't even know what they'd be robbing me of. I don't ever. They can take my credit card that I'm gonna cancel in a second, but but let's just say I did. Let's say I had some.
handing over your credit card to it, even knowing you're going to cancel it, even just like,
Oh yeah, it'd
here
still
you
be
go,
a pain.
kid. Here you
I
go.
would tell them as I was doing it. I'm like, I'll give you this credit card. I'm just gonna cancel it in one side. I suppose they
couldn't
could take my
imagine doing that.
iPhone. But
I
anyway, the point is, like,
from a kid before they got like they could rob me.
Yeah, you could definitely outrun them.
it would just be this day and age. I just, even with a kid, I think I'd be like, whatever, and just keep walking. Like, I'm not fucking. It's just, I don't know. We're in such a weird time, like I said, where it would just take one person to film it, and now what? Like, there would have been a time when you could have knocked that kid out, and he would deserve it. And you know what? Society would agree he deserved it too. By the way, people would be like, fuck that kid. He was robbing you. Now it would just take one fucking person on Twitter or something to be like, no kid should ever be hurt. No. What they're doing, blah blah blah.
I just can't imagine like putting myself in the heads of like one of these people. Like, imagine that moment where like a gang of 11-year-olds is accosting you, and you're like, these fucking stupid kids. And then for some reason you're like, oh, this is a serious situation.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit
Right.
You just see one kid come out, and then like little kids are coming out from cars and stuff. Like,
Or you're like,
so
I'm gonna walk
loud.
a little faster to my car. Like,
Yeah, fumbling for your keys. Like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here.
goddamn 11-year-old.
That would be quite a situation. And you're right. You would feel terrible about yourself because of it. Because you would know what you should have done.
So weak. You would feel so weak.
Yeah.
Oh
I think I
God.
said, I think the only way I'd be able to say it justified to myself is like, dude, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I have fist fought a gang of geese.
Geese are assholes, man.
They're assholes.
Definitely done.
They're assholes, and they can handle themselves. I don't feel bad about that.
No, yeah,
I don't feel bad for geese at all.
No.
It was this
Where,
moment.
what was the situation?
I was walking my dog. She was like a little Shih Tzu, and she used to love
Good.
to like
Segue.
to run down the like lake area and just chase all of them and have fun watching them fly away. So they all go flying up in the air, and then there's this moment where they turn around, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're coming for me.
Dude, they're fucking no shit, man. They're no joke.
And so one of them swings down and like bites at her, and like I'm like, oh fuck, these geese are attacking my dog, so I start kicking them.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
dude, I swear to God.
And they're still so I'm punching, I'm kicking, and like
what were their like reactions? Like, did you hit one and they back off and then come back at? I mean, they're like, when did they finally
that was
give
the
up?
thing. That was
So
the
they'd
thing.
still coming.
Because I ran up because they were my dog, I ran up and I kicked one in the chest, and it did like a backwards.
In a way, by the way,
killed that fucking geese a day later.
Yeah, maybe.
By the way, we're all really big. I think I'm pretty sure you guys are, but I know I'm a huge animal person. I fucking love animals.
I would have been a vegan
weird...
for years. I'm a vegetarian.
Right.
Now.
Okay. So in a weird way, though, still, was that kind of fun to kick it? Because like you
it was.
That's fucked up. That's fair though.
The geese had it coming.
Yeah. You actually have a justifiable reason to it. I was gonna say,
it's something you could not normally do.
Stomach, like it'd be very sad. It feels so good. This is a good segue. We're talking about animals, and this is the last thing I'll talk about because we can't really get into super evil kid stories. But okay, this one's fucked up. Happy Puppy Day, everybody. Because this next one.
I'm sorry. Can we just for 1 second? I am so fucking sick of social media making every day a goddamn holiday. Yeah. Dude, why do puppies need a fucking holiday?
Puppies deserve a holiday.
Get out
They're
of
pretty
here.
Adorable. They deserve it.
I'd rather see pictures. Having said that, I'd rather puppies than people's kids. So
yeah, that's fair. Okay, so this guy on Reddit said some fucked up shit. Okay, I saw a kid kill another kid's dog by stomping on its head in full view of both parents. That monster's parents actually tried to defend
Wizard of Oz situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Was this kid a fucking boom operator?
No, he wasn't.
So you're telling me
he grew up to be him.
So wait, so you're telling me this kid did not just accidentally step on the dog and kill it because a person cannot do that?
No,
right?
Because he's not a full-grown man who can accidentally kill a dog. I think this little kid curb stomped this puppy.
Jesus
Christ, dude!
I know
that's fucking terrible. Terrible.
So some people were asking questions on the Reddit forum, like, "What the fuck, dude?" And he's like, "The entire thing happened because the perpetrator got upset that he didn't have a puppy. He decided no one could have puppies and stomped it while he was on
How old is this fucking kid? Do they have an idea? They just say a kid."
Yes. No, he's 10 years old.
10 years? What a fucking piece of shit.
That kid, I give that kid the chance. And I'm sorry, most of the time.
It's also
we have enough people.
Think about this.
We're overpopulated.
He did it to the dog when it was in the submission form. So he was on his belly and like being like out of fear, like, don't hurt me.
Oh my
and he
fucking
just
God, dude.
his stomach and like killed it. Jesus.
I agree. Share him up.
This happened at a campground.
Seriously, I am against the death penalty. Obviously, definitely for kids.
Fuck, this ain't a kid, dude. Fuck him.
Strap the blindfold on him, give him a cigarette, and fucking just.
We've got enough.
Give him a
we got enough people on the planet. By the way, people are against the death penalty. I'm being a little facetious here, but people are against the death penalty. But like, dude, we got fucking people on the planet. In my opinion, I'd be so much more heavy on it. Dude, I'm not saying small petty crimes, but shit like this, see ya. Enough people on the planet.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Like, what do you think? This guy is torturing prostitutes.
Your pass is revoked for life.
Right. Living is a privilege, not a right.
Yeah, no, that kid has,
and that his parents tried to defend him. What little fucks are they?
Jesus,
that
you know how long ago this was at all?
I mean, he said he was 28 now, and he was 10. So
18 years.
So 18 years ago.
So this guy is
it's not as much in that range, but I'm not trying to say like old man yelling at the clouds. But dude, parents these days do not. Like, it used to be like my as much as I talk about my parents, dude, I never had the benefit of the doubt. If a teacher said I did something, I fucking did it. I have friends who are teachers. I have friends who are teachers now, and it's like parents literally never believe their kids do anything. They will defend to the death.
To me, it's like, no, my kid did that. I mean, I don't have a kid, but if I was in that situation, I truly believe I'd be like, no, he did that shit.
Imagine putting this fucking puppy's corpse in a trash bag.
That would be like, hey, kid, you're like, son, you're going in therapy for the rest of your life, and hopefully it helps.
You're taking a bath, and I'm drowning you.
I'm gonna put you in a bag.
No, I'm going to save so many like vagrants and like
Right.
Prostitutes and homeless people.
like 8 years from now when you're an adult.
For sure. Somebody stomping on a kid or a dog. Like a dog too, like just a little puppy. Like Jesus, it's so
This is
hurtful.
what you chose to end this on, by the way.
Yeah,
because that's
terrible.
the most extreme thing, and we were just talking about.
I would agree with that.
Do you have anything else? Can we have something?
I could talk
something
about.
different?
I could talk about how there was this girl who was 15 who was a shooter. She shot 8 kids, and her reason for doing it was she was bored.
I hate this. I hate the structure that you made for this episode.
Yeah, this is
going
what
down
a downer.
dark path. It needed to go down a dark path for extremity. If you stuck around, you got a lot of cool information about dog killing.
A lot of cool information.
Yeah. Now you know.
You know what? Okay, fuck it. I'm just
Go ahead.
2 minutes. I'm just gonna tell this story. We just gotta end on a little bit of a sunshine.
I'm okay with it. Go ahead.
No, we don't.
This is too much. When I was a teenager,
I'll allow it.
Okay.
I mean, no matter what, if I was going to end it, I was going to be whatever. Just go.
No,
I
I was just going to say a very short bad kid story I had is like back when MySpace was a thing. I had a time when me and one of my friends realized that Nicolas Cage did not have a MySpace. And so we were like, holy fuck, let's make a Nicolas Cage MySpace and pretend to be him. and so we did it. And we got like thousands of friends.
Seriously?
And like everybody just assumed it was his official page. Yeah.
People thought it was seriously Nicolas Cage's MySpace.
Yeah, and we made it look like an official Nick Cage MySpace. I mean, like we went out of our way to try to do everything. We could to make it look real.
That's fucking hilarious.
And like people would DM him stuff, being like, "Oh, like I love you as an actor, like so much, and all of this." And I wish I could even.
You ever use it to get laid?
But you know what? We didn't even go down that cynical route. We would just write like absurd shit.
Did any of you remember though? If like girls ever sent?
Oh yeah, totally. No, we definitely had like there were definitely times where we arranged to meet some woman. Like we were never.
What would they say? Do you remember it all? Like what would they
totally.
say? Just like, oh my god, I love you. I'd just like to hang out with you, or I'd love to.
Totally that sort of stuff. And we would just mostly write absurd stuff.
Would it ever fully sex, or would it always kind of be like hang out?
What's the craziest thing you wrote?
You know, it's been a long time, but it would be a lot of stuff. Like I remember one time, like a guy like in a wheelchair just wrote like Nicolas Cage. We're like, oh man, he's like, I love you so much. You're my favorite actor. And we were just like, wow, that's awesome, man. I'm sorry you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, dude, you can really fuck up his like reputation. Just, like,
you know what's funny about this?
I'm
like,
really into feet. I like your feet. Like what? Hey, did you know Nick Cage is into feet?
Dude, the thing about this is like I really am such like I hate being mean to people so much. I hate it.
Yeah.
But if you're in this situation, like if I was in your situation there and you have these people believe, I would have absolutely said things I would never say to human beings. But like because in my mind, it would be so funny that they thought Nicolas Cage was saying this to them.
Exactly. There's such a variety of things you could say to people to just fuck up his reputation on MySpace.
And I hope there is somebody out there who, like, when a Nicolas Cage movie gets
still
out,
thinks
like,
that's like their Nicolas Cage story.
Yeah, I used to like him, but man, that time I talked to him, he was such a dick.
Did you think those girls ever showed up to places? Did they ever remember?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely times I remember flat out being like, "Hey, like I'm swinging by like Toronto on like the 23rd." Like, and we'd like look up some like hotel or restaurant or something. Be like, if you want to.
That was so worth it. I'm so glad we heard this story.
Paparazzi were like outside of that building, just waiting for him because they heard about that.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I'm so glad you brought that dog stomping story.
The dog stomping story exists, and
a little fucking honey with your vinegar.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I don't need any honey. I just want straight vinegar, dude. I want that bitter bullshit.
Oh my god.
Any final thoughts other than downer thoughts?
That poor puppy. Why have we done 12 episodes and dog murder has come up more than once? That's my
That's
both of my episodes.
solid question. That's a solid question.
I find it interesting.
Both on Tyler episodes, just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even dog murder, specifically a dog being stomped on. To death.
Yes.
I think what we're finding out is my final thought is that Tyler has something to tell us at some point. That
I really fucking hate. No,
really into dog stomping.
I threw them in there. They asked to be told.
Yeah. That's all I know. And I'm sorry, if I could have one more final thought. Also, that kid had to intentionally stomp on that dog. It wasn't an accident because a human being cannot step on a dog and kill it. It's not possible.
Oh my God.
Anything is possible, and that's definitely possible because it's happened. So
It's never happened.
Good enough.
I'd say my final thought is from now on, all of my podcasts are going to deal with dog death. And that's the direction I'm going to start taking. No, my final thought is being a bad kid is fun to an extent. Don't get caught.
Yeah, right. Well, do get caught if you're stomping dogs.
If you're stomping dogs, get caught. But I'm saying any stories be told or shitting on a floor, just don't get caught.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Anything, Eric? Any final thoughts?
I don't really got anything. I think
you're just so like horrified and shocked by the
here's what I say. My final thought is like, for people out there, so often you think. Now, obviously, there are some people who are the worst, but a lot of times we think, "Oh, I did some shit," and look at some of those stories. There are terrible human beings out there. So give yourself a break. You probably just did some minor, stupid, childish stuff, and it's fine.
When I was 11 years old, I was watching DuckTales. Like, that's what I was doing.
I know.
Yeah, you were a little psychopath murderer kid.
Right. These video games, I tell you.
I was scared my parents were going to find the computer porn I looked up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's the worst thing you possibly did.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I've never been in that position either. I'm just saying, it's a wild story.
No, it is.
And Reddit's got a lot of them. Whose week is it next week? I'm trying to.
It's Eric.
Me.
It's Eric's. Yeah, teaser.
What's up? Yeah. So actually, it's going to be very interesting. Basically, I told you guys off the air last time, but I'm basically going to do like. For anyone that knows me knows that I'm a pretty big sports fan, and you hear a lot of people, and you two would be part of them, I'm sure, in that group of like really hating on sports. They're pointless or they're stupid, and why do people get so worked up into them? And so I'm going to try to convince people why sports, not that you need to become a fanatic, but why sports should be more why more people should be at least interested in sports or consider following them on some level. And it will be really
yeah.
What's up?
I said, I will argue against that. I will find everything I possibly can.
It's funny because it will be it's very timely with so I'm not going to get too much into it, but our sports teams in the area that I live in are garbage for a while now. We've been really bad. And we have Michigan basketball is doing good right now. And so it'll be funny because we're going to do this on Wednesday next week. And ironically, like literally, I will either be so excited to talk about sports due to how they play this weekend, or I'll be very using it as therapeutic for myself and talking about why I like sports.
I still love it, and here are the reasons.
And also, Alanis Morissette, that is not what ironic means at all.
What?
I'm just letting you know. No, you pulled an Alanis Morissette. You just used ironic in a way. You said ironically, I don't.
Ironically, that the next
I'll either be really happy or really sad.
Yeah, that isn't ironic.
No irony in that.
No, there's not ironic.
That's a small.
That's not ironic at all.
No,
I don't know why I said that. You're right. It's not ironic. I think I more meant fitting that I'll be doing this. That's what I should have said. It's fitting.
Which is the exact opposite of ironically.
Yes. Fuck you. Okay, we can end your show, I guess.
No, yeah. I'll end it on this. Puppy death is not okay, and I don't agree with it. We will see you next week, right? Thanks for checking out Two Hippies, One Drunk. Check out our Facebook page, like I said. Download us on iTunes and any other platform that has podcasts. We're pretty much on all of them, so check that out. Download our content. Give us reviews, all that stuff. Comment, subscribe. We love that stuff. We'll try to interact with you guys as best as possible. Thank you for everybody listening and watching. It's been honestly so fucking fantastic. This is our 12th episode, and it's going good. So thanks, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Peace.